The city of Carver's Hollow was a world in grayscale. Once vibrant and full of life, it had been beaten down over the years by crime, corruption, and economic decline. Its inhabitants were those who couldn't afford to leave, people who had to bear the burden of a city in despair. Among them was Tom, a middle-aged man who had seen better days. He'd lost his job, his wife had left him, and he was close to losing his home. All he had left were his memories of a happier time, which were slowly fading like the city around him. One day, Tom found a mysterious card on his doorstep. It was a simple piece of black paper with 2 words written on it in glowing silver ink: Dusk Dealer. Curious and with nothing to lose, Tom visited the address written on the back of the card. In a forgotten corner of the city, under the last rays of the setting sun, he met the Dusk Dealer. The dealer was a tall, shadowy figure dressed in an elegant suit, his face hidden by a low hat. He explained his trade. For the price of their most treasured memory, he offered individuals a single night where they could live their dreams and escape their harsh reality. Desperate for a respite from his dreary existence, Tom agreed to the Dusk Dealer's offer. He handed over the memory of his wedding day, the last truly happy day of his life. As the Dusk Dealer took the memory, his hand shimmered, and he placed a glowing hourglass in Tom's hand. The sands began to flow, and Tom fell into a deep sleep. In his dream, Tom was successful. His wife was by his side, and his life was filled with joy and prosperity. It was a dream so vivid and beautiful, it was almost unbearable. For a night, he was free of his sorrow, and he lived the life he'd always dreamed of. When Tom woke up, he found himself back in his shabby home. The hourglass was gone, but so was his treasured memory. He could no longer recall the face of his wife, or the joy he had felt on their wedding day. It was a void in his mind, a missing piece that left him feeling emptier than before. Despite the relief the dream had provided, Tom was left hollow, having traded his most treasured memory for a fleeting moment. News of the Dusk Dealer spread through Carver's Hollow. Those desperate enough sought him out, trading their happiness for a moment of escape. The city sunk further into despair as its citizens lost their precious memories one by one. The echoes of the Dusk Dealer lingered in the minds and hearts of the people, a cruel reminder of their traded joys. The Dusk Dealer continued his trade, providing a temporary dream while deepening the city's collective despair. And Carver's Hollow, once a city of vibrancy and life, became a city of lost memories and traded dreams, its citizens forever haunted by the Dusk Dealer's offer.
The city of New Haven was full of art, particularly graffiti. The walls of every abandoned building, the sides of train cars, and even the concrete of the underpasses were all silent canvases. They were brought to life by the vibrant, chaotic artwork that the city's disenfranchised youth sprayed onto their surfaces. Among these young artists was a 17-year-old boy named Javier. He'd found solace and expression in the art of graffiti, painting the city with his dreams, frustrations, and memories. One night, after finishing a new piece, Javier noticed something strange. His graffiti seemed to move, taking on a life of its own. To his shock and awe, ghostly figures stepped out from the wall. They were the graffiti ghouls, spectral beings trapped in the city's wall art, seeking to rectify the wrongs that kept them chained to this world. Javier had unwittingly given them form and voice through his artwork. Each night, the ghouls would emerge from the graffiti, pursuing those who had wronged them in life. A corrupt policeman was haunted by a ghoul who was a victim of police brutality. A gang leader was tormented by the specter of a rival he had mercilessly killed. The ghouls made sure that the guilty were confronted with their sins, their spectral forms a chilling reminder of the repercussions of their actions. Javier, at first terrified, came to understand and sympathize with the graffiti ghouls. He began creating more pieces, bringing forth more ghouls, all in the hopes of helping them find justice and peace. Each time a ghoul's wrong was rectified, whether through a confession, an arrest, or simply the acknowledgement of their pain, they would fade from the graffiti, finally finding rest. New Haven changed after the emergence of the graffiti ghouls. Fear of the spectral justice led many to change their ways, and the city became somewhat safer, quieter. Yet Javier continued to paint, his graffiti serving as an ever-present reminder of the ghouls' haunting echoes. Despite the quiet, New Haven was never the same. It had seen the spectral manifestations of its history, had witnessed the restless souls seeking justice, and it would forever bear the mark of their presence. Each piece of graffiti was now a potential tombstone or a beacon of redemption, a constant reminder of the ghouls that once roamed its streets. And Javier, the inadvertent medium, continued to tell their stories, one spray can at a time. In the community of Brookside, a neighborhood rife with struggles and grief, one woman, Rosa, stood apart. She was a humble cellist, her music as melancholy as the people around her. Rosa played every evening on her porch, her haunting melodies echoing through the quiet streets, reflecting the sorrow of the community she lived in. One night, during a particularly sorrowful performance, Rosa noticed a change. Her cello's melody seemed to dance in the air, forming visible waves of music that rippled outwards. She realized that her music wasn't just reflecting the neighborhood's sorrow, it was reacting to it, becoming a tangible force. As Rosa continued to play, she found her music had a profound effect on those who listened. Her cello's melancholy strains began to soothe the neighborhood's grief. A mother mourning her lost son found solace in the tunes. A man battling addiction found strength, and a homeless veteran felt a sense of peace he hadn't experienced in years. It seemed Rosa's cello was resonating with their pain, producing a harmony that could heal. Word of Rosa's extraordinary talent spread, drawing people from all walks of life to Brookside. The neighborhood began to change, its residents finding hope and healing in Rosa's music. The cello's melodies became a beacon of solace, its harmonies binding the community together, transforming their collective despair into hope and resilience. Even after Rosa passed away, her cello's music lived on. A beautiful mural was painted on the side of her home, depicting Rosa with her cello, musical waves flowing out from it. It served as a reminder of her gift, her music's healing impact, and the power of harmony. And in the heart of every Brookside resident, the echo of her healing harmonies continued to resonate, a testament to the woman who turned her sorrow into a melody, her music into a cure, and her community into a symphony of hope. The harmonic healer may be gone, but her music still plays in the hearts of those she touched.
The West End was notorious for its troubles. It was a world full of chaos and crime. However, amidst this turmoil, an unseen protector emerged. The Watcher, as the locals came to call him, was an enigmatic figure who seemed to always be there when trouble brewed. No one knew who he was, but everyone had a story about him. A mother would recount how her daughter was saved from a gang. A shopkeeper would talk about how a robbery at his store was prevented. And a homeless man would talk about the warm meal that had mysteriously appeared next to him. All these acts were attributed to the Watcher. As stories of the Watcher spread, fear began to grip the gangs and criminals of West End. No misdeed seemed to escape the Watcher's gaze, and no one could anticipate his sudden silent interventions. He was a guardian, a ghost in the shadows who protected the innocent. The truth about the Watcher was never revealed. Some speculated he was a former gang member seeking redemption. Others believed he was a lost spirit bound to the neighborhood. Regardless, the Watcher became a symbol of hope and vigilance, a silent guardian whose presence was a beacon in the darkest corners of the West End. Even though sightings of the Watcher decreased over time, his legacy continued. The fear he instilled in the criminal elements and the hope he inspired among the innocent led to a gradual transformation in West End. And though he was no longer seen, every saved soul, every thwarted crime, every act of kindness in West End was a testament to the echo of the Watcher.
Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. We're so excited to have you here and share our content with you. If you're new here, make sure to click that subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.